Hey everyone and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where it's nice and warm inside Fort Tom Manor so I can actually switch back to my normal clothes. Where today we're going to be taking on something that was introduced in patch 7.1 that I recommend nearly everybody do. Heck, even like the more expert players should probably do it just like as a refresher. Just in case, maybe there's something you somehow did not know about that will be in this. We are going to be taking on what is known as, well, known by the community as, the Hall of the Intermediates. They added an extension to the Hall of the Novice, which teaches you some very, very important aspects about combat in parties, especially as you get towards raiding. Specifically, it teaches you about all of the markers that indicate mechanics. Well, nearly all of the markers that indicate mechanics that you may come across, so that you have a good foundation and know exactly what is going on when a new marker pops up, so you know how to respond and actually play the game. And I am hoping that people actually do this, because it will fix the whole problem with new players who don't know any better yet, get a stack marker on them, and then run away from the party and die, which is made even worse when they happen to be the healer. Which has happened to me repeatedly, being in a party and watching the healer run away from everyone with a stack marker and die, and it's not their fault, the game didn't teach them, but now the game will teach you. So please do the Hall of the Novice. Please, I'm begging you. Also, apparently, I'm being gaslit here, because just moments ago, I checked this and it said that most of these were not complete. I was gonna say apparently they've updated the old tank trainings, and those are now different, and you might need to redo them if you want these marked off in your log. But clearly I'm being gaslit. Okay, well, we're not gonna worry about that. We're gonna hop right into tactical training, exercise 1 as a healer. React to attack markers. Welcome, Mr. Slonsy. In this training exercise, we will have you carry out a variety of common evasive maneuvers. Just ignore the fact that you are currently persona non grata in Eorzea and not welcome here. My agent here will serve as your opponent. Try to get a sense for her oncoming attacks and handle them accordingly. Worth noting when this unlocks, take your starting position when you are ready to begin. This Hall of the Intermediate, as the player base is calling it, unlocks when 1, you are level 49. You need to be at least level 49 to take this on, which is why I'm not doing it as Dark Knight or Astrologian or Machinist. And 2, you need to complete the main story quest, Hearts on Fire. If you don't know where that is, the very next quest is when you go into the Castrum during Operation Archon, so right at the end of A Realm Reborn is when this unlocks. As you doubtless know, no few magics strike a wide radius around a given target. The marker of such an attack will often look like this. If you sense that you've been marked, you do well to move away from your allies so that they aren't caught in the blast. The danger is greater still if an ally is targeted at the same time. Stand too close to one another and you will suffer double the impact. Let the exercise begin. Alright, so our objective? Solve the mechanic by getting hit as little as possible, which means stay safely away so the circles don't overlap. Bravo, Mr. Slonsy! To start the next exercise, take your starting position. Where are you gonna make me stand? Ah, over to the side. Our next exercise features a strike so powerful it cannot be endured alone. Allow me to demonstrate its marker. Should the enemy perform such an attack, you and your allies must stand together in order to weather it. Upon sensing this marker, locate its target and make your way there as quick as you can. Let the exercise begin. Alright, stack markers, let's do it. Shouldn't be too hard, just need to stack up with the party. It is actually quite a wide radius you're allowed to stand in. I tend to stand in the middle of the arrows, but that circle marks the entire safe zone. Bravo, Mr. Slonsy! Among you adventurers, I am given to understand that these are known as stack markers. Rings odd to my ear, but I suppose it matters. I appreciate the little dig at the community. To start the next exercise, take your starting position. Right here. Next, we will look at a lethal variety of attack that none but a tank can handle. Behold its marker. We got a tank buster. Remember, only the tank is equipped to survive a blow of this magnitude. Any other caught in its blast won't be left standing. Now for a proper demonstration. Everyone position yourself so that the tank may shield against this strike alone. Let the exercise begin. Alright. Make sure we stand away from the tank, and you know what, let's toss up a shield as well. It's a tank buster. It's gonna hurt. Oh, it's even the line-based tank buster. Got it. Bravo, Mr. Slonsy. These attacks pack quite a punch. Should it fall to you to deal with it, you do well to employ what abilities you have to lighten the damage. To start the next exercise, take your starting position. Yeah, as a tank, you should definitely be using your mitigations on tank busters. 1 is usually enough, but if you're in the higher end content, 2 or even 3 might be necessary. Looking at you, savage. 3 mitts. Ah. Next, let us practice how to handle a more persistent threat. Take note of this marker. What will follow is a chain of attacks that chase you doggedly. You must stay on the move, all while keeping away from your allies. Let the exercise begin. Alright, 3, 2, 1, let's go! Lead the homing attacks away from our allies. For these, generally, it's safe to wait until it disappears, then move 1 space at a time. Though, in harder fights, you're going to be wanting to move more frequently than this. Possibly even consistently moving. Spectacular work! With that, your basic training is complete. Now come and speak with me if you'd like to attempt my final challenge. Where did you go? There you are. East End. Now that you've learned the basics, it's time to put your knowledge to the test. Overcome this final challenge and your training will be complete. Let's do it! We will now begin the final challenge. Once you're prepared, take your starting position. Allow me to test all that you have learned thus far. In this exercise, you will face a slew of different attacks, each of which you must deal with appropriately to minimize the harm you sustain. Let the exercise begin. Alright, first off we got a donut keeping us in. We gotta spread out, wait for the donut to disappear, and move out. Clean! Your grasp of combat tactics is commendable indeed, Mr. Slonsy. Okay, we got a stack marker. Gathering up back here. Not bad. I appreciate you healing us so I don't have to deal with that. Alright, tank buster going left, we're going right. And we've got chase. Alright, everyone's gonna be moving clockwise. Not a bad strategy. Thank you, friend. Could also possibly lead the attacks into the middle, but nah. You, my friend, are moving way too fast. I guess it could have stood to stand exactly opposite the tank. Alright, and cleared it. Alright, next up, the second entry in the Hall of the Intermediate Reactive Floor Markers. Welcome, Mr. Swansea. In this training exercise, we will help you carry out a medley of cutting-edge tactical maneuvers. My agent here will serve as your opponent, try to get a sense for her oncoming attacks and handle them accordingly. Take your starting position when you are ready to begin. Alright, we're starting over here. First, let's discuss knockback attacks. The marker will look like this. As soon as you sense it, you'll have but a few moments to position yourself before you are pushed a set distance from its point of impact. For this exercise, I have placed a ring of lightning ether around the arena. Your goal is to position yourself so that you won't be sent hurtling into it. Let the exercise begin. Alright, we've got a knockback. Stand towards the middle as close as we can to it, so that when we get knocked back, without cheating, Surecast and Arm's Length will both let you avoid knockbacks. There are exceptions to that, but we'll go into that in a little bit. Trolled him. Trolled it. While we're at it, let's review a common variant. Take note of this marker. Unlike last time, I don't recommend you stand directly in the center of it unless you receive a most painful blow to the skull. And so once more, I challenge you to avoid being flung into the lightning. Where will you stand this time? Maybe I should have saved my Surecast for this one. It was funny though, you have to admit that was funny. Alright, so stand right on the edge, not in it, but on the edge, so that we move as little as possible. And we're good. Where's my next starting position? Ah, almost had it. Next, we'll demonstrate a proximity attack. Its marker pulses outwards, like so. With these, the closer you are to its point of impact, the greater the damage you stand to take. Thus, whenever you see that ominous light pulsing along the ground, I advise you to distance yourself as much as possible. Let the exercise begin. Alright, proximity attack. Simply stand away from it. And yeah, that's what I thought, right in the middle. Barely a scratch, eh? Sometimes the simplest solution is to get the hells out of there, so to speak. To start the next exercise, take your starting position. Where do you want me this time? Over here? Now let's move on to tower tactics. This type of attack is one that must be endured rather than avoided. See the tower marker? If no one stands inside to weaken its impact, the entire party will suffer a devastating blow. Therefore, one person must volunteer to take the tower, shielding the rest of the party from far greater casualties. Let the exercise begin. Worth noting that towers will do a lot more damage if nobody's standing in them than if one person is standing in them. If you stand in them, you're going to take like a little bit of damage. If you're standing out, you're going to take a lot more damage. It is not necessary to assign that to any particular role. Everyone can survive towers, usually, with rare exceptions. Now let's cover a variant of the tower marker. Again, one of you will need to stand inside to protect the others. Lest you forget, if the tower goes unoccupied, the entire party will pay the price. In this case, you must ensure you are standing within the bounds of the circle before the arcane orb strikes the ground. Let the exercise begin! Yeah, Tower and Meteor are nearly identical. The main difference is Meteor has like a visible timer on it. Alright, let's take this one. And to show what I mean by visible timer, that. Spectacular work! With that, your basic training is complete. Now come and speak with me if you'd like to attempt my final challenge. So yeah, main difference between towers and the meteors is meteors have a timer, towers are not timer based. It just changes a little bit on how you're going to react to it effectively, but it's mostly the same mechanic. Now that you've learned the basics, it's time to put your knowledge to the test. Overcome this final challenge and your training will be complete. Let's do it! We will now begin the final challenge. Once you are prepared, take your starting position. Allow me to test all that you have learned thus far. In this exercise, you will face a slew of different attacks, each of which you must deal with appropriately to minimize the harm you sustain. Let the exercise begin! Alright. First off, you need to survive a combo of knockback with AoEs. I could probably abuse my Surecast at some point in this. This is the one I think I want to use the Surecast on. Maybe I shouldn't be fucking around with this, actually. Okay, they're gonna let me take this one if I remember correctly. Yep, I did this just the other day on my main. Don't mind me, just cheesing your mechanics. Alright. Dodge 2 proximity markers. And last one, you say? We've got towers, or sorry, we've got meteors combined with cleaves. Alright, not too bad. You handled every last threat with finesse. It is with pleasure that I have declared you have passed the challenge. When I did all these challenges on my main, there was exactly one mechanic I fucked up on, and that was the knockback into towers. I thought you were trying to be knocked back into the tower? No, you were knocked back and then you had to run to the tower from there. I aimed the wrong way, thinking I was going to land in the tower, and I died for it. Alright, last section of the Hall of the Intermediate. React to advanced visual indicators. And this will give us a reward. The Neophyte's Ring. Item level 150 increases experience earned by 30% when level 60 and below. Attributes and item level vary according to class and job and current level when equipped. But we will have a 30% experience bonus to stack with our Azema's earrings for a total of 60% bonus up to level 60. That is going to be very nice for catching up my new Heavensward jobs. Alright, react to advanced visual indicators, let's go. Welcome, Mr. Swansea. In this training exercise, we will have you carry out even more advanced tactical maneuvers. My agent here will serve as your opponent, try to get a sense for her oncoming attacks and handle them accordingly. Take your starting position when you are ready to begin. Alright, where are you gonna have me stand? Right here? Fair enough. For your first exercise, allow me to demonstrate the proximity tether. Its marker looks like this. When entangled with one of these, to remain near the enemy is to risk suffering a painful strike. Instead, use what precious few moments you have to retreat until the tether's magics weaken. Let the exercise begin, let's do it! Tethers! Tethers are glitchy. Well, this type of tether's fine. There's a second type of tether that we'll get to, which is glitchy. But this one, not too hard. Just get far enough away, the tether will weaken, and will take minimal damage. Bravo! We saw this during one of the Greg fights, during Battle in the Big Keep, I believe. Alright, where are you gonna have me stand? Over here. Oh, here we go. Hi, bomb. Before we move on, there is another type of tether attack I wish to cover. Take note of this marker. Unlike proximity tethers, these can be intercepted at will, allowing you to sustain a blow on another's behalf. For this exercise, let's suppose your enemy intends to detonate a bomb. To prevent a lethal explosion, your only recourse is to shield the bomb yourself. Let the exercise begin. This is the glitchy tether. So the issue with this tether is if the person who is tethered is moving around, it can be very hard to intercept the tether. Like, you can stand in front of them and it won't give you the tether. Some variants of interceptable tethers, you need to stay standing in between the enemy and the target. Some, once you take the tether, it'll just lock onto you and now you're the tethered person. But either way, interceptable tethers are a little bit glitchy with actually taking them. Next, I will teach you how to defend against a gaze attack. Behold its marker. When the spell is cast, all those facing its direction will suffer some manner of unpleasant effect, in this case, petrification. Fortunately, the solution is simple. You need but turn away from the enemy to neutralize its effects entirely. Let the exercise begin! Alright, 3, 2, 1, let's begin. You're gonna have a gaze, we're gonna just simply turn away, or get hit with a blind debuff, that also works. Bravo, and we are clear. Alright, where's our starting position? Over here. Way in the back. For your next exercise, let us discuss status effects such as poison or paralysis, and more importantly, the curing thereof. While there are full many varieties of combat ailments, a fair few can be swiftly relieved with Asuna. So let's get a feel for this by having our healer do the honors, shall we? Let the exercise begin! If you are not playing as a healer, this will actually be a variant where you need to dodge out of an AoE as soon as the... Yeah, if you're not playing as a healer, you need to dodge out of the AoE as soon as the NPC healer casts Asuna on you. If you are playing as the healer, you need to target the person who has the bind, and then cast Asuna on them. Spectacular work! With that, your basic training is complete. Now come and speak with me if you'd like to attempt my final challenge. Alright, a bit of a shorter one. Let's do it. Now that you've learned the basics, it's time to put your knowledge to the test. Overcome this final challenge and your training will be complete. Let's do it. Once we are prepared, take our starting position. Allow me to test all that you have learned thus far. In this exercise, you will face a slew of different attacks, each of which you must deal with appropriately to minimize the harm you sustain. Let the exercise begin! Alright, first off we've got tethers combined with cone AoEs. Get away, wait for that to disappear, and then move into the safe zone. I appreciate that they're also implicitly teaching us the timed AoEs with all of these trainings. Alright, we got bombs. Everyone intercept one. And then wait so the bombs don't explode. Alright, third objective. We got a big circle AoE combined with a okay, I see what you're gonna do. AoE goes off, we gotta move in, turn around, and clear. Alright, fourth objective. Ah, crap, okay. Gotta Asuna everybody. If the targeting was a bit better, now run. Everyone get out of there, and we're free. Okay, they give you plenty of time. I was just talking about this in the Astrologian episode. The targeting your allies with their NPCs is really bad in this game. You neutralize every threat with practiced precision. Needless to say, you've passed my final challenge with flying colors. And for that, we get the Neophyte's Ring. That's actually going to be an upgrade on basically all of my jobs because nobody has item level 150 rings at this point. But it's very important for my Dark Knight, Astrologian, and Machinist because that means they're going to level up much faster. Alright then, with that, I can get back to leveling up my new Heavensward jobs, getting them caught up and ready for the main story. And in the meantime, next time on Final Fantasy XIV, we're going to be continuing the main story. Who are we going to go with first? I got a feeling it's going to be Artoirel. I will see everyone next time for that.